there is something about being, there's something about 26 and not being married and being single. There's something about people start looking at you funny, ni kama ni kilema, atuelewe shida ni gani. But there is a way when you get to a certain age, people start looking at you like you're the problem, right? Regardless of the decisions that you have made that are probably your own doing, you want to be single, you want to find a more meaningful relationship, you are in your period of career, running and chasing your career, it doesn't matter. When it starts to become prevalent that you are older and single, it becomes a problem. But a lot of people need to understand that it's not. Some people genuinely just want to be single. Honestly, honest to God, if God forbid I were single right now, I'd probably remain single for a long time without all this pressure, because there's, hey, dating is work. You know, y'all just sitting over there. Do you want to date? And I ask this question to a lot of people. Do you want to date because you're filling a quota? Or do you want to date because you actually really like the person that you've met and you want to be with them? Right? Is it that it's the society that's giving you pressure that oh, we're all dating, why are you single? Why are you single? Come make a trend, your Valentine's Day, Valentine's is coming. Where is your boyfriend? Are those kinds of things the ones that are forcing you to go and find a boyfriend or find a girlfriend? If they are, you're really not dating for the right reasons. So ultimately, here are some ways in which you can enjoy being single. Man, woman, boy, child alike. Right? One of those ways is, oh God, developing your own personal interests. Finding things that you want to do. I feel like you had more points for that one. So nitakuacha we said.
Not necessarily. I was just helping you out. But
Okay.
you know, have a hobby. You know, you can't center or just live your whole life around the idea of marriage, around the idea of being somebody else's partner. Who are you? Who are you? What makes you happy? So have a hobby, have an interest, have a career, have your own money. Don't get into marriage for all the wrong reasons, because ideally you get married to a person you want to spend the rest of your life with, you know, somebody you want to do life together with. So while they're doing their life and they want to do life with you, what are you doing with your life? You know, it's just as simple as, are you going to be just their assistant through life? They're living their life, they've established themselves, they have their career going on, but you, where's you? What's your interest? What do you like doing? What makes you happy? What brings you money? What sparks joy for you? If you don't have all of these things and you're rushing to get married, of course at some point you're going to be some people it actually works out for them, but so for some people it's going to feel some type of way. So focus on yourself. Be happy on your own before you get married.
Another reason why I feel like a lot of people tend to feel sad and lonely when they're single is simply because you really don't have other relationships outside of your man or your woman. You don't have strong relationships with friends, strong relationships with family, strong relationships with, you know, your nieces and nephews and all of these people, and therefore all your time and energy has been focused on being with this particular person. But whenever I see flourishing female friendships, especially flourishing female friendships, I am in awe, because it is very difficult for you to actually find female friends who you like, who you actually have a good time with, who you can just sit back, relax. You're not doing anything. There is no agenda. You're just chilling. And sometimes there is an agenda and you're out and you're doing things. Like Linda, Dr. Linda on Instagram, TikTok, and the rest of the social media places. She has like solid female friendships. They are out doing staycations, they are out doing other things, they are taking each other out on actual dinners and dates and lunches and brunches and picnics and all of these other things. You will see other people who are really invested in their children, in their lives. For example, you have nieces and nephews. You are off doing their school trips, you are off doing their sports day, mid-term, KKK. You are always involved. I think it's very important for you to develop strong relationships outside of your main relationship, and it will really fulfill your life. In fact, you will realize very quickly you probably don't need a man. You are just happy being happy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also just take care of yourself. I feel like the older you get, people try to instill this fear in you as if you have an expiration date. What do you mean? You know, I'm actually coming into myself. I now have the money to enjoy my hobbies. I now have the money to enjoy who I am. You know, I'm no longer a broke teenager just on survival mode. Now in my 30s, I can afford a few things. I can afford a staycation, a girlfriend's trip, and all of these things. And now society wants to put a clock on that, like, wow, when are you going to have children? You're going to expire soon. No, just take care of yourself. You know, you can afford it now. You can live the life you want.
And it's true, yes, 100%. The female body is annoyingly a ticking time bomb. Like, there are things that need to be sorted out before a certain age. Otherwise, you start to have complications. Geriatric pregnancies. How do they call it geriatric pregnancy when you're only 40? You're saying I am an old person and I'm having an old person baby and I will have complications, which is true. However, still, it is a mean thing to say. Anyway, I digress. Please try and freeze your eggs. If you do have the money, if you do have the capacity for it, freeze your eggs. If you have the ability to have children, surrogacy. There are so many ways in which you can still have children and live a fulfilling life. If children are a primary focus in your life and a thing that will make you feel complete, there are ways of making sure that, you know what, I can still have a baby even if I meet my partner at like 60. I'm still gonna just unfreeze my eggs and make sure that they're viable eggs as well, and get myself a child, my own flesh and blood, if that is what you really truly want. But in finality, very, very important, desperation. You can smell it from a mile off, and people who come off desperate tend to be easy to lure, to dupe. That's why you hear a lot of people fell for love scams and all of these other places where you get scammed simply because you met someone who you thought loved you and you thought you loved them, only for you to find out that it's some crazy Nigerian Yahoo boy chilling in Canada somewhere and taking your money away. Please be careful not to be desperate, because it's easy for you to be caught in a bad spot if you are coming off as desperate.
Yeah, just live your life, enjoy it, and don't be in a rush to do anything. It's
Yeah.
as simple as that.
Yeah, because guess what? Nobody loves you the way that you do.
Do.
So love you first. Every other thing will come after. That's been our show. We appreciate all your messages that came on the number 0777293366. We cannot wait to read any more.